Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to those of you joining us on the West Coast today. Segal Select Insurance would like to welcome you to today's online presentation, Part 2, Meet the Underwriters, Cyber Liability Insurance Revealed. Now I'd like to introduce our speakers. We have Paul Nickinson, Privacy Breach Response Services Manager with Beasley, Tim Gallagher, Underwriter with Beasley, and Matt Jackson, our Vice President, Consultant with Segal Select Insurance. Now I will turn the call over to Matt.
Thank you, Liza, and thank you, everyone, for joining us today, and also thanks to Tim and Paul for joining me. We're going to take a bit of a departure from our regular webinars this time around. You've been hearing Segal Select talk about cyber liability for a couple of years now, but we wanted to get some underwriters in here to talk about their products and how they view this exposure, to just get another voice for you, the funds to hear from. So let me start with Segal's normal legal caveat here of we're not a law firm or insurance carrier. I do have some insurance guys here, but nothing they say is going to be binding interpretations of coverage or legal advice. Make sure you talk to fund counsel, and we're just going to have a friendly chat today. So cyber liability, what is it? What is the exposure that we're really trying to deal with here? And very simplistically, we're looking at protecting the funds from data breaches. There are laws out there that define what a data breach is, but again, very simplistically, it's the loss or theft of confidential information. As benefit plans, you know that you're sitting on a lot of data that would fit in this category. This PII and PHI you hear a lot about, whether it's Social Security numbers, dates of birth, medical records. If that information got in the wrong hands, whether it's accidental or malicious, there could be large ramifications for your participants as well as for the funds themselves. So that's my simplistic view of it. Let me hand this over to Tim. From a carrier side, what does a data breach and a breach event mean to you?
Loss, misuse, or unauthorized access of sensitive data, and whether that data is corporate confidential data or really more specifically to the concerns of the folks on the phone, sensitive information, sensitive personally identifiable information, Social Security numbers, any protected healthcare information, those types of things.
And just to show that is a real exposure out there, there's plenty of examples to choose from, but we wanted to highlight a few of them for you. Employee negligence, accidents are going to happen. An interesting one here is the second bullet point where a health network sells a photocopier of theirs, but didn't wipe out the hard drive. So the next owner of that photocopier ends up finding out they're sitting on a ton of medical information. That resulted in $1 million fine to that original health network. Criminal intrusions, we'll talk about the crime element a little bit later. You could have Chinese hackers stealing patient records, or stolen laptops. We'll actually see that pop up a few times. Resulted in, for example, 700,000 patient records being stolen and requiring notification. And again, circling back to errors, negligence, this bottom bullet we've actually seen pop up a couple times where a benefit fund actually was printing out envelopes to send some material to participants, and a little glitch or a programming error actually printed all the Social Security numbers on the front of the envelope. A similar type of simple error. We've seen a couple instances of funds double stuffing EOB envelopes so that one participant gets the EOB of another. These types of things can happen. And Paul, you've told me in the past you're pretty familiar with some of these instances, right?
That's right, Matt. And it's really, the issue with a data breach and the true risk here is it's pretty difficult to account for people and for human error. And really, no matter how secure your systems are, no matter how many measures you have, technological measures in place to prevent a breach, it really only takes a simple human mistake to cause a breach. And I think there's sort of a perception in the public space that data breaches and cyber always mean some type of high-tech incident, and that's not really the case in practice. In practice, what you see quite a bit are folks that, lose records, they leave laptops on a train, they leave a BlackBerry in their hotel, and it's these type of simple human errors that are very difficult to protect against.